You have Derek Johnson and Garrett Livingston up front. But again, there goes Mason Murray. Murray in for the touchdown. Mason Murray, 5 yards and 6 points as the Penn Hills Indians get on the board for the first time in 1994. Here we go, big play. Jason Bailey, the big setback. Looks like there's some room off the center on the right side. Nunes will keep it. He stopped. He stopped. The Penn Hills defense has come up big. They'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 48-yard line. Oh, what a play by the defensive line of the Penn Hills Indians. It's like Strader and Dwayne Thompson in the backfield. Got him hood with the keeper around the left side. He has some room. He is up to the 40, 45. He's knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line with a flag on top of it. Tack on.
We're going to get
another 15.
The 1994 version of the Penn Hills Indian was to be one of promise. The Indians, boasting one of the largest lines in WPIL history, was hoping to fill the positions in the defensive and offensive backfield. Names like Mark Murphy, Andre Thompson were gone, but names like Victor Streeter, Mason Murray, and Dwayne Thompson were the names that we would be hearing in the 1994 year. The Indian season was to start right here at Andrew Uhas Stadium when the Indians would take on the Butler Tornadoes. The Tornadoes proved to be an unwelcome visitor as they beat our Indians in our first game. The Indians then would travel to Martorelli Stadium to play the North Hills Indians. The Battle of the Indians was going to be one that would be a real challenge to both teams. Traditional powerhouses playing each other with their seasons and the questions to be answered very early. The Penn Hills Indians would prevail in one of the most exciting games of the 1994 season. With one decisive defeat and one decisive win under their belt, Coach Gordon and his staff were not real sure what the Indians were going to be in 1994. They would return to Andrew Uhas Stadium to take on the visiting Seneca Valley football team and to see what we were really made of. Now we'll ask you to sit back and enjoy the preseason and the tune-up for the section play.
Indians.
Oh, absolutely, and here's the kickoff.
Penn Hills opened the 94 season hosting the Golden Tornado of Butler High School, a traditionally difficult foe for the Indians, and this year proved to be no exception.
That's where the Butler Golden Tornado will take over here to start the 1994 season. Tornado.
The Indians' defense stifled Butler early, setting the tone for the rest of the game. And behind the Indians' big line of Bill Craver, Mike White, and Damon Gibson, the Indians were able to move the ball, but the offense would turn the ball over 7 times, allowing Butler to score 2 first-half touchdowns.
At his own 36-yard line, he cuts to the right, gets around the first wave of containment. He has a wall. Sean Bonner.
Even though the defense allowed Butler less than 50 yards of offense, a Sean Bonner punt return set up Mason Murray's touchdown, but the Indians dropped the opener, which turned out to be a 13-7 heartbreaker.
Got some movement in the line. Butler jump, but I think they're going to nail the Penn Hills Indians on some movement. We saw the problems with Penn Hills a little bit in their line play. A lot of motion penalties and procedure calls last week in their scrimmage against Norwin. Outs on the near side. Ron Graham, the wide out on the right. The handoff goes up the middle. That's Dwayne Thompson showing his speed. He gets the first down and a whole lot more. Goes from the 21.
Garrett Livingston, the up back for the Indians.
And the handoff goes to Mason Murray, who scoots for 5, maybe 6 yards. Got nice size as a sophomore quarterback. Neil Gordon will be seeing a lot from him in the next few years. Pitch back goes to Dwayne Thompson, and he goes Homer and a quarterback. Handoff's given back to the second back through. Again, that's Mason Murray.
Keep trying, but they're not reaching any success. This has got to be a pass.
Nunes going to pass this way. He's looking for Horner. He throws the ball up. And it's off the fingertips of number 17, Bill, at midfield to get this punt from Butler. And Hill should get the ball back again in some good field position. Dwayne Thompson slips in the turf. Lets the ball roll back up down, and there should be some less offside calls.
Point well taken.
And there's a turnover, Bill.
On one hand, Neil Gordon can't be too happy about the fumble, the penalties, wideouts to this side of the field. Man in motion, that's number 3, Ryan McClellan. He goes to the right side. Nunes is looking to the left. He's coming down this way. Can he get the ball in? And the ball's caught. Nathan Vanderzee now in the backfield for Butler. Vanderzee gets the ball, and he's going to throw a halfback pass. Ball's going to be picked off by Penn Hills. That's Sean Bonner. Sean Bonner brings the ball back to the 35-yard line where he's brought down, and Penn Hills will take over.
I noticed it wasn't Roble, but I'm standing right next to the Butler coaches. And
he's got to pick it up and run it out.
Just fall on it. Fall on it.
2 seconds. 1 second. They were just able to get the ball up. And Nodes is able to get the ball into the end zone quarter with 10:42 to go in the first half. A 33-yard pass, Troy Nunes to Billy Horning, -1 yard on the ground, 32 yards of total offense in the first half. And now we are underway for the second half as Butler will kick off to Penn Hills. And there goes number 34, Victor Strader, with a run back here to start the second half for the Penn Hills Indians. That's just what the doctor ordered. Granted,
their spirits in the early going.
I'll tell you what, at midfield, if they don't make it here, I won't be surprised if they go for it. But the point is moot because
Mason
and Ted Fitzpatrick still in at center. Guylan Hood with the keeper. Looks like he might have fumbled at the snap a little bit, but he kept the ball, kept going, and he might have fumbled. And he has. Looks like they might be checking an ankle or a knee. Nunes back to pass again. He's looking again. Penn Hills with nice coverage. And the ball is picked off by the Penn Hills Indians. Right. Block here in the third quarter. Guylan Hood's going to roll out, and he slips. It looks like, again, there's a problem with a little bit of the turf down in that area.
It's cool out there, Billy. It's cool, and I'm sure the dew has set on the ground.
Roble is into punt. I thought they would go for it. They're in Butler territory. Roble with a kick. Oh, straight up in the air a little bit, but he gets a nice kick on it. A little Penn Hills bounce. Butler will take over. Looks like at the 21-yard line. Looks like Bonner and Dwayne Thompson deep for Penn Hills. Nice kick by Lee.
Ball's going to be to the near side.
Bonner chases it down at the 15-yard line. He's going to pick it up there with a host of Butler Golden Tornadoes. If he can get by this group, he can go.
There it is.
Bonner at the midfield. He's at the 40. He's got a block to go. And he goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Oh, my. Derek Bonner with a run. Derek Johnson and Garrett Livingston up front. But again, there goes Mason Murray. Murray in for the touchdown. Mason Murray, 5 yards and 6 points as the Penn Hills Indians get on the board for the first time in 1994.
Brian Fisher will try to add the extra point.
Kick is down, and it looks like it's good from here. And it's good from down on the field. Again, a bad snap.
Get him! Oh, yeah! Pick up the run! That's all.
Another bad snap hurting the Penn Hills Indians. Penn Hills needs 70 yards on this play.
All the marbles on one play. The Indians sending everybody.
Guylan Hood deep. He's looking up. There he goes downfield. He overthrows his man. The ball's tipped in the air. Picked off by Butler. The game is over.
And that's it.
The final score from Andrew Yuha Stadium. The Butler Golden Tornado 13. The Penn Hills Indians 7. We'll be back to wrap things up here on STP.
Week 2 began on a somber note as the Indians traveled to North Hills to play the defending state champion North Hills Indians. The night before, former Penn Hills lineman Frank Santa Maria was killed in the crash of U.S. Air Flight 427. Santa Maria's number 70 would be donned on the Indians' helmets in dedication for the rest of the season.
And the kickoff goes out of bounds, and already we have the first as a receiver.
The Penn Hills defense would shine again tonight, and again the Indians' ground game would put up some impressive numbers.
Barrington, the punter, and gets off a semi-decent kick. That's Bonner at his own 23-yard line. Scoots to the outside. He may have some room to run. Gets a nice return up to the plane of the ball. You're offsides.
Derek Johnson's long run ended in a missed Brian Fisher field goal try, but it wouldn't take long for the North Hills Indians to take the lead.
Got a man to beat Arrington, who has some speed. And Arrington brings him down at the 23-yard line. The attempt for 3. Schrader with the hold. Fisher with the kick. and it goes wide to the left. After one half of play, and the game was called at that point. O'Brien's going to come back to pass. He's looking deep. The ball's pulled in by Dave Cruz. He's brought down at, again, that's Fiola. Fiola cuts up over the 10, touchdown, North Hills. Here's Fiola in motion. There's the pitch to Arrington. He's going to
After falling behind early, the Indians kept it close, and the defense would keep this game close.
Way short. That's why he's a running back.
Seconds here in quarter number 2.
Bonner and Thompson deep for the Penn Hills Indians. Arrington the punt. Arrington's going to run with it. Arrington is going to get close to the first down, and it looks like he might get it. From the Penn Hills 45, O'Brien will pass again. And the ball goes off the hands.
That's a good point.
Gylan Hood's quick dump to Dwayne Thompson put Penn Hills in position to score, and Victor Strader's nifty run put the Indians on the scoreboard. The point after would fail, however, and the Indians would go into the locker room trailing at halftime.
Inside the 5-yard line, still going with the feet. He's going to the goal line, in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Bonner on the right side, but no, they will kick it. The kick is up, and it's no good. Again, Arrington, the only setback for the North Hills Indians. Arrington's going to get the ball. He won't throw it this time. He stopped on the left. He cuts back to the other side. He's got some running room, and he's dangerous when he's like this. You have 8 Penn Hills Indians, and the ball.
The defense comes up with a big turnover in the second half as Ronnie Graham intercepts a North Hills Indian fumble, and the Indians would take the lead. A North Hills interception would tie the game, but Dane Zakia's coffin corner kick pinned North Hills deep, and the defense would force a turnover late in the game.
The kickoff taken by Derek Johnson at his own 15-yard line. He has a wedge. Johnson with a nice run back. Penn Hills in excellent field position. Thompson and Mason Murray. Gylan Hood with the quarterback sneak. He gets some running room. He gets the first down and a whole lot more to the outside. He's going to go for a Penn Hills touchdown. One man to beat. Gylan Hood with a 37-yard power eye formation. Gylan Hood's going to throw the ball. It's in the end zone, and it's caught for 2 points. That's the Penn Hills 19-yard line. O'Brien looking to pass. He's looking for Hugh. And the ball is picked off by Sean Bonner. Bit of the trumpet music. Gylan Hood's going to throw the ball. He has Graham. And the ball's picked off by the North Hills Indians at the 8-yard line. Third down and goal to go. There's Fiola. Fiola goes nowhere. He's stopped, but a second effort gets him into the end zone. There's the placement, there's the kick. Meehan's kick is up, and the game is tied. We see up on the hill the Rowdy Rooters. Not only are they rowdy, but they get to watch the game for free. Penn Hills will kick the ball away.
Kick it straight up down the middle of the field.
A nice punt by Zakaya. It's a nice lateral bounce inside the 10-yard line. Fiola the fumble. Loose ball, looks like it might be Penn Hills. Penn Hills has the football back at the 9-yard line with 2:06 to go in the game.
Second and goal.
Mason Murray would put the Indians on top late, and the defense would hold, and the Indians would leave Martorelli Stadium with their first win of the year, a 2014 win over North Hills.
20-14, Penn Hills with 118. Can you say upset city? Absolutely.
Fourth quarter, big run that time. The 5-yard touchdown.
Nothing gets by you, Bob. Is Fisher with the kick. He does kick the line drive. The ball bounces. Arrington takes it at his own 12. Arrington up over the 15 to 20. He still has some running room and some blockers. Fisher the man to beat, and Fisher right side. Look for him, maybe go down the middle. And there it is. The ball throwing deep, it might be picked off by the Penn Hills Indians, and it is. The ball picked off. That'll be the ball game. Not many people would have thought this was possible, but it happened. The Penn Hills Indians 20, the North Hills Indians 14. Here before the national anthem, we did have a moment of silence.
The high-powered Seneca Valley Raiders would come to UHA Stadium in Week 3, but the Penn Hills offense would shine.
4-2-7 from the 1974 Penn Hills Indians, the captain, number 70, Frank Santamaria. Anthony Babushi to kick off with the Seneca Valley Raiders, excuse me. And Victor Strader will take the kickoff at his own 6-yard line. Victor Strader has a wedge up the middle. He may get some running room. Strader over the 40, the 45. He's up to midfield. He's into Raider territory before he's brought. Hood's going to throw again. He's looking for Ronnie Graham. Ronnie Graham swerving for the ball about the 30-yard line. the ball underthrown. Split backs downfield to receive for the Seneca Valley Raiders. Tom Naughton and Matthew Kurtz. Kurtz takes it at the 20-yard line, and that's where he's brought down. Back to punt for Seneca Valley Raiders.
Sean Bonner's 87-yard punt return would put the Indians up by 14 points late in the first quarter.
There's Dwayne Thompson. He got the sideline. Thompson over midfield. Thompson at the 40. Thompson needs a block. He gets it at the 30. He's down to the 25-yard line. Penn Hills will take over for the Indians. The shiny red pants. Again, Mason Murray up over the 10-5. He's in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Mason Murray picks up all 25 yards on 4 carries. That is our senior interview. Placed by Victor Strader. The kick is up. And it's good. 7-0 Penn Hills. 7:50 to go here in the first quarter. That'll be Matt Kurtz back to punt. Let's see if Penn Hills can get another return, but this is a short kick. Sean Bonner at the 14-yard line. He needs a block. He gets it. Sean Bonner with the wedge up the near side. Sean Bonner may go. Sean Bonner at the 50. Sean Bonner into Seneca territory. He needs a couple of blocks. He got 1. He got 2. Sean Bonner with the Penn Hills touchdown. Oh, my. 87 yards on the punt return for Sean Bonner. And right, but the return came back.
The 2-touchdown lead would be short-lived, however, as the Indians would allow Seneca Valley to come back to tie the game at 14.
I'm sure would be available to the public. Wender Ruse and Donald Kelly in the backfield. And Rocha will pass. Rocha rolls to the right. He sees Wender Ruse, but he's going to go deep for Boylan, who's open behind the defense. And he catches the ball and goes out of bounds at Rocha under center. He's going to throw the ball this time. He has some pressure. Wonder Ruse catches it at the 5, goes in for the Seneca touchdown. Strader and Thompson in the backfield. Thompson fumbles the ball and Seneca Valley has it. Seneca Valley has the ball at the Penn Hills 30-yard line. On him. Rocha rolls again. The ball's caught at the 20-yard line. That's Wonder Ruse in motion. Rocha will pass. He's looking end zone. Wide open in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Seneca Valley.
The sideline. That crew was open behind him. Got to give Rocha credit.
Along with Victor Strader.
One of those returns.
Johnson.
Another one of those good returns will be
an excellent return would go well. Strader again will take.
Penn Hills would come right back, though. Victor Strader and Sean Bonner would put the Indians in position to take the lead.
Looks like he'll be brought down about the 43-yard line. He's in motion up top. Looks like there's going to be reverse to Bonner, and it is. Bonner has some running room on the near side. He cuts up the middle. Bonner makes a nice move, and Bonner could go. Bonner over midfield. He's being pursued by Seneca Valley. Bonner breaks 1 man. Bonner's going to go. He goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
And the big reverse has put Penn Hills in position to strike once again.
Mason Murray again with the handoff out of the power I formation. He gets running room in for the touchdown.
Murray's dive into the end zone will put the Indians up for good in this football game.
They will go for 2. Mason Murray deep on the power I. Again, look like they might go to Mason Murray up the middle, and it's worked so far. All they need now are 2 yards. Guylan Hood's going to throw the ball. He has man deep in the end zone, and he slips. That's why you're the best color man in football, Bob Orquist.
Guylan Hood's late first-half interception and long pass set up another Indian score just before the first half would come to an end.
Hood will come back to pass. He's looking deep down the middle. Mason Murray. Mason Murray catches the ball at the 3-yard line. Just has to set the ball. There goes the clock. He's looking in the end zone. He has a man wide open at the end zone. Touchdown, Penn Hills. Sean Bonner. And now Penn Hills will go for 2.
Bonner with the 3-yard.
And there's Mason Murray with the handoff and 2 points for the Penn Hills Indians. 27-14 Indians over the Seneca Valley Raiders with 5 seconds to go here in the first half.
And at halftime, they got the ball back.
He's the leader of this team. He's been throwing the ball well. There's Boylan in motion, but there's a quick handoff and a
The Indians' defense would come through again in the second half. And Umar Rollins' interception set up another Indian score. This time, Garrett Livingston would seal the Penn Hills triumph.
Mason Murray deep in the power I formation, and yes, it's Mason Murray in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Rocha rolling to his right. Almost sacked for a loss, but he's still under pressure, throwing the ball deep, and the ball could be picked off, and it is. The ball picked off by Umar Rollins. Garrett Livingston. Guylan Hood with the keeper. Guylan Hood could have a little bit of running room. He goes to the first down and more! Guylan Hood is off to the races. Guylan Hood over the 30, the 20. He's being braced down by Boylan at the 20-yard line, and Boylan brings him down about the 14-yard line. Look for Mason Murray up the middle. But no, quick inside a handoff to Garrett Livingston. He's in. Garrett Livingston had the ball, so they saw him standing at the back of the end zone with his hands raised. They turned around and said, look, that's where the ball is.
That quick, huh? Week 4, you're deciding the Quad North title.
Riding high on a 2-game winning streak, the Indians concluded the preseason 2-1, and we're now looking forward to their crosstown rival, the Plum Mustangs. The Mustangs would come to Penn Hills with an undefeated record and visions of playoffs in their minds as they were going to take on the Indians of Penn Hills. The Indians would prevail against the Mustangs, but it was a hard-fought game. The Indians now would turn their attentions to the McKeesport Tigers, the eventual state champions in Pennsylvania. The game was one that was hard-fought, and the decision was not made as to who would be victorious until the very closing seconds. The Tigers would prevail, and now the Indians would have to look back and look forward to their crosstown opponent, the Wolverines of Woodland Hills. The Indians traveled to Woodland Hills on a Saturday afternoon, knowing that if they had any visions of playoffs, they would have to take this game home. Sit back and watch as our Indians take on probably the toughest part of their schedule in 1994.
A very pleasant good evening to you once again, TCI.
The Quad East Conference schedule opened in Week 4 as the Indians hosted the Plum Mustangs, who came into the game unbeaten in '94.
Can run very well. Kickoff by Frank Bacco. The ball fumbled at the 12-yard line, but the Penn Hills Indians pick it up, keep possession. Back into the I formation with Mason Murray deep.
Again, the Indians' rushing attack would put up the numbers, but again, the fumble bug stops an early Indian drive, and the D would be called on to keep the Mustangs off the scoreboard.
Quick inside handoff to Sean Bonner on the near side. Sean Bonner with a little bit of running room, crosses over midfield. He'll be knocked out of bounds in Plum territory at the 4.
Pounding it out against the Mustangs.
Definitely Mason Murray this time. Murray stripped to the ball. Looks like Penn Hills might have come up with it again, but there's a scramble. Plum says they. Mike Dunsworth wide on the top of the screen. Dunsworth is Umberger's favorite receiver, looking for him over the middle. And Dunsworth catches it in midfield. And he's brought down in Penn Hills. Umberger looking to pass as a man in the backfield. Goes incomplete. Penn Hills takes over at the 2. They hold. Penn Hills Indians. Pitch back to Dwayne Thompson. He looks for some running room around the outside, but he cuts back to the inside. Thompson has some
Again, the Indian offense would put up some big numbers on the ground, but still, the Indians wouldn't be able to get into the scoreboard.
Well, Mustangs, number 11, Mike Dunsworth, and Andy DeFazio. Looks like DeFazio will get a hold of the ball, but the ball kicks away from him. Gets a nice Penn Hills bounce. They'll be down to inside the 10-yard line at the 9. Nice punt.
Penn Hills is stacked in the middle.
They're trying to read Umberger, and they do. They submarine into DeFazio. They had him in the backfield, and he is brought down in the backfield. Mason Murray, as well as number 22, Dwayne Thompson. No doubt they'll try to kick to Thompson instead of Bonner if they watch the game film. Plum. Derek Johnson got some nice pressure in on the punter. Garrett Livingston in the up back. Mason Murray deep in the I formation for the Penn Hills Indians. Handoff goes to Mason Murray, who has a first down and a lot more for the Penn Hills Indians on the top of your screen. Up back, Garrett Livingston for the Penn Hills touchdown.
Garrett Livingston's score would finally put the Indians onto the scoreboard, and again, the defense would hold the Plum Mustangs.
Place out on the tee, the kick is up, and it looks pretty good.
Special teams always a factor, one way or another, to come straight on to the football.
So Brad getting in with another short kick. That's Dwayne Thompson who fumbles the punt, and Plum gets it back. And Umberger will pass. He's looking downfield as a man wide open. Wide open at the 32-yard line was number 11, Mike Dunsworth. And Umberger will throw the ball. And there's the horn. Umberger with some room on the right side. Throws over the middle. Nice defensive play at the goal line. The pass broken up by Sean. High formation. Derek Johnson and Mason Murray. And that's Mason Murray hitting the backfield, but Mason Murray keeps going. Crosses over the 10-yard line. Brought down at the 9. They go to a split.
Behind the line play of Craver, White, Gibson, Ted Fitzpatrick, Mike Johnson, and Kevin McCoy. Garrett Livingston would put the Indians up by 14 points, but the Mustangs would strike right back on the ensuing kickoff.
Snap is true, the placement. Kick is up, and it looks good from here. Of course, he's only 240.
Only 240.
Fisher's kickoff. It looks like it's going to be returned by number 11, Mike Dunsworth. Dunsworth in a foot race against Skyland Hood. And just like that, it's 14-6.
Plum is quickly back in this game. Penn Hills has lived by the big return the past couple of games, and they are hurt by it. Backo was on to kick the extra point.
Big extra point for Plum. The kick is up, and it's good. 14-7, the Plum Mustangs are right back in this game. Looks like Brad Gething almost forgot to come in.
Again, the defense holds Plum and would leave the offense in great field position.
And Dwayne Thompson will take it at the 28-yard line. Thompson up over the 40, Thompson near midfield. Thompson still on his feet. Thompson still on his feet until he's brought down from behind.
I forgot what it was now.
A long way.
41 yards.
Pitch back to Thompson, looking for some room around the left side. Thompson has the corner. Thompson over the 20 is the first half of the Penn Hills Indians. He's knocked out of bounds. Just last week, Seneca Valley, no first
Mason
down.
Murray's late touchdown would ice the game as the Indians would open conference play with a win. Final score, Penn Hills 22, Plum 7.
Close to a first down. We'll give him about half yard. Or is it Derek Johnson or Mason Murray? It's Mason Murray. Mason Murray picks up 2 yards of Penn Hills touchdown. The Indians now up by 13 with 6:03 to go here in the ballgame. And Penn Hills gets the 2 points. So Noah Gordon will look at the game films, be happy with what he sees, except for a couple of Penn Hills turnovers. And, of course, the kickoff return for a touchdown. Make some changes if need be, but on the other hand, what can you tinker with? From Tiger Stadium,
The Indians travel to McKeesport in Week 5 to take on the top-ranked Tigers, and the game would turn into a defensive struggle early.
Woodland Hills Gateway are all 0-1.
And Fisher to kick off for the Penn Hills Indians, and we're underway at McKeesport Tiger Stadium. Rozier will take the kickoff at his own 5-yard line. Rozier looking for some running room, gets some nice yardage, but there's the Penn Hills Indians with number 21. He's the right halfback, the man in motion, and Isber. He's the quarterback. And the ball carrier is Keontae Campbell, and he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It's Indians, Sean Bonner, number 21, and number 22 is Dwayne Thompson. Thompson and Bonner run into each other at the 31-yard line. Split backfield for the Penn Hills Indians. Skyland Hood under center. Quick handoff to Victor Strader. Strader looks like he picks up about 32 yards of punt. And gets away a high kick. Brought down to 25 is Jermaine Cromedy. Cromedy breaks a tackle. He's still on his feet at the 30, 35-yard line. Cuts back on the inside. Cromedy is dangerous. It looks like Cromedy has some running room, and he may go. So, drive started at their own 11-yard line. And Isber's going to throw. Isber's looking for Glenn Allen. Glenn Allen is open deep, and Allen gets the ball on a first down out near. So the best field position of either team so far in this game, the McKeesport Tigers at their own 47-yard line. Quick handoff to Cromedy.
The teams would trade turnovers in the first quarter, but McKeesport would return an interception for a touchdown and the early lead.
And Guyland Hood's going to throw deep. He's looking for Bonner. And the ball's picked off by Cromedy at the 32-yard line. Now Cromedy on the run back. Cromedy in midfield. Cromedy crosses the 30-yard line. He's down to the 20. Cromedy still on his feet. Touchdown, McKeesport Tigers.
Runs in the family.
Now, if you have a great kicker, you might as well go for it. The kick is up, and it's good. Dangerous Sean Bonner.
The opportunistic Penn Hills defense would again put the offense in great position following Derek Johnson's block of a McKeesport punt.
Derek Johnson blocks the punt. The ball's picked up at the 10-yard line and recovered by the Penn Hills Indians at the 7. All right, formation for the Penn Hills Indians. That's Mason Murray deep. And again, there's a pass. Touchdown, Penn Hills!
The Indians would tie the score early in the second quarter. Dwayne Thompson's halfback passer, Ronnie Graham, ties the score, but Graham separates his shoulder on the play. Showing great heart, Graham would stay in the game in spite of the painful injury.
Fisher kicks it out of the end zone. And there goes Isber with the option with a pitch back.
pushed on the Penn Hills Indians offside one time.
But that's not what they're doing here. Again, there is the halfback pass. There's Glenn Allen looking end zone. And the ball tipped away. Garland Hood. And there's Victor Strader, but Strader fumbles the ball.
Another Indian turnover would set up another McKeesport touchdown, and the Indians would soon become the walking wounded.
And Isbert's going to throw the ball. Has a man wide open down the middle of the field. Touchdown, Tigers. And Ron Rutherford looking for the point after. Rutherford's kick is down. It's up. And it's good.
A Victor Strader fumble led to McKeesport's touchdown. A two-play drive to go 25 yards.
Thus far in this game. That's Cromartie in motion. And Cromartie gets the pitch around the outside. Garland Hood, nice containment. Johnson with the speed from the outside. Here comes Johnson again. And McKeesport does punt the ball away to Sean Bonner at the 44-yard line. Nice coverage by McKeesport Tigers, but Bonner gets a little bit of running room. He's out by midfield, but he fumbles the ball, and McKeesport Tigers fall on it. McKeesport coaches are saying they have only 10 men on the field for this field goal. And the field goal looks like it's blocked, and it's no good. Again, it's Mason Murray deep, but this time the handoff goes to Sean Bonner, who has some daylight. Sean Bonner has some daylight, and then he's off. Sean Bonner in McKeesport territory. He's going to be brought down. And there it is. Sean Bonner with some running room around the outside. Sean Bonner is off to the races. He got a Penn Hills first down. Again, it's Mason Murray. Mason Murray dives into the end zone for the Penn Hills touchdown.
Mason Murray would tie the game for the Indians early in the fourth quarter. And later, Umar Rollins would come up with a big interception to stop a McKeesport drive.
Kick is up, and it's good. The ball game's tied. Expect Isbert to throw the ball, and Isbert does. Isbert throws the ball, and it's picked off by the Penn Hills Indians.
Umar Rollins.
Umar. Offensive line. Dave Zakia back to punt. Almost another bad snap. Nice pressure by the McKeesport defense, but Zakia, nice job to get the ball out. And Jermaine Cromartie takes it at the 14-yard line. Cromartie with some running room. Cromartie still on his feet. Cromartie still running. Cromartie is still going. The handoff goes to Cromartie. No, that's not Cromartie. And Isbert with the option. Goes back to Glenn Allen. Nice pursuit by the Penn Hills defense.
One more time and try to halt this drive.
The battered Indians would all play admirably, but the Indians' injuries were just too much, and McKeesport's Jermaine Cromartie was able to dash for the winning score with just seconds remaining, and the Tigers held on for a 21-14 win. McKeesport would eventually wind up Quad A and state champions.
Jermaine Cromartie. Cromartie breaks free. The McKeesport Tigers 21. Our Penn Hills Indians 14. We will see you Saturday afternoon in Turtle Creek. Good night, everybody.
The Indians rolled into the Rolve Arena in Week 5, battered, bruised, and badly needing a win against Woodland Hills.
It's Derek Johnson on the short. He's deep. And the ball goes to Mason Murray, who picks up some nifty yardage. Backs with Mason Murray on the power eye. And again, it's Mason Murray. Mason Murray with some running room. He has the first down and a few yards more.
Again, the offense would put up yards but no points. And in this game, it would take the Penn Hills defense to open the scoring.
Does a nice job to pick up two.
Anything helps, Bill. There's a Chinese fire drill formation for the Indians.
Mason Murray. It was quarterback keeper all the way. Punt is number 32, Melvin Cobbs, and number 22, Mark West Rainey. Zakia's punt is actually going to be taken by Cobbs, but Cobbs lets the ball bounce, but will pick it on the second bounce. And that's where he's brought down. Graham, he's playing with a separated shoulder. And again, it's Melvin Cobbs, and this time Melvin Cobbs is just brought down.
Garland Hood would return an interception for a touchdown, and the defense would keep the Wolverines in check for the entire first half.
And Woodland Hills looks to throw, and there's Garland Hood with the interception at the 42. Garland Hood has some running room over the 20. He's over the 10. He's looking end zone. Garland Hood, touchdown Penn Hills. Hood was waiting for it. Brian Fisher with the point after is blocked. They are. Melvin Cobbs in motion again. Dixon looks like he's going to pass. Pump fakes. Dixon under some pressure, and Dixon is sacked. What do we say about Umar?
We don't call his name often, but when we do, we call him Umar.
Again, Dixon under pressure. It's Derek Johnson, and Derek Johnson took a nice shot, but again, Derek Johnson stays in, and he brings down excellent play by Derek Johnson. Woodland Hills to punt. The punt bounces straight up in the air and goes out of bounds. Get 2 first downs. You're looking at inside the 30-yard line. Against Mason Murray, it looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Does a nice job to get to the outside, but he fumbles the ball. Like the coach's headsets or something over there. And again, it's Cobbs. And Cobbs says hello, this time to Mike White.
Petition to have a bye week like the NFL.
Dixon looks like he wants to pass again, and again, Dixon goes under.
Graver and Mike White.
Strader split. Watch the speed of Derek Johnson on this play. Johnson crosses over the 20-yard line. The ball goes up in the air to Johnson and Graham, and the ball is tipped away at the goal line.
The Indians would go into the locker room at halftime with a 6-0 lead over the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
Second half action here on STP. If he doesn't try to throw the ball again,
the lead would be short-lived, however, as Woodland Hills would take a 7-6 lead on the first play of the second half.
Wolverines pick up the ball at their own 20-yard line. On the return is Marquest Rainey, 21-14.
First time we've seen this formation from Woodland Hills. They have an up man in front of Cobbs.
And it is Cobbs with the carry, and Cobbs with some nifty moves, and Cobbs might go on the first play of the second half. Melvin Cobbs, 67 yards and a Woodland Hills touchdown.
And this is a 36-yard extra point.
The kick is up, and the kick is good.
Indeed, just was a cramp on this hot day.
Again, it's Derek Johnson who gets up over midfield for the Penn Hills Indians, and he's brought.
The Indians would go up again, however, as Derek Johnson's long touchdown run would put the Indians up by a score of 12-7.
He has crutches. He has a cast on his foot. Gilmer's pass complete. Another big third down for the Penn Hills Indians. This could be 4-down territory for them. First man through is Derek Johnson. Johnson with the running room. Johnson still going. Johnson to score for the Penn Hills touchdown. Derek. Now the power eye.
Lenny Gilmer would be stopped short on the conversion attempt, and the score would remain 12-7 Penn Hills.
In motion, it's Brandon Green. And again, it's Melvin Cobbs. Rich Dixon, quarterback. Melvin Cobbs, the fullback. And he does, but it'll come around the near side. Melvin Cobbs on the fake, and Melvin Cobbs.
Another long touchdown run would put the Wolverines back on top, but this was a Penn Hills Indian team that just would not quit on this Saturday afternoon.
Gets the ball again, he gets some running room around the outside. He's dangerous in his territory. Melvin Cobbs, 5, and you know who's going to get the ball. And it's that man, Melvin Cobbs. Melvin Cobbs is gone for another Woodland Hills touchdown. Here, means absolutely nothing. And it's 14 punting for the Woodland Hills Wolverines is Dan Silvers, number 98. Silver's able to get the punt away. And it's Sean Bonner at his 27. Sean Bonner still on his feet. Sean Bonner with some running room. It's Sean.
Late in the fourth quarter, the Indians would begin a drive for the winning touchdown, led by Derek Johnson, the leading rusher for the Indians in this game.
Still on his feet. Derek Johnson picks up 6, 7, 8 yards. Derek Bonner in the backfield. And there's the handoff to Derek Bonner around the right side. Bonner with the first down for the Penn Hills Indians. And called at the 29-yard line. And again, there's Derek Johnson. Johnson cuts over the 20-yard line. He's down to the 18-yard line.
Full of credit in the world to Penn Hills for this drive.
Victory seemed just moments away, but it wasn't to be for the Indians, as Woodland Hills picked off an Indians pass in the end zone with just seconds to play and would beat the Indians by a score of 14-12.
The final score from the Wolverina. The Woodland Hills Wolverines 14. The Penn Hills Indians 12.
With losses to both McKeesport and Woodland Hills, the Indians would now need the help from friendly foes. But more importantly, they had to take on another playoff contender, the Central Catholic Vikings. The Vikings entered Andrew Uhas Stadium in the thick of the race, both with the Indians and Woodland Hills. The Indians would need to win against the Vikings if they were to consider the playoffs any further. The Indians were victorious and then needed to move on to Fox Chapel, where they would take on the Foxes in a night game, which would prove to be one of the more important games in their playoff hopes. The Indians again were victorious and were now riding a 2-game winning streak as they came back for senior night against Kiski area. The Indians rose to the occasion and were again victorious and now had one of the longest winning streaks of the season, but still needed to watch the scoreboard of other games if their playoff hopes were to continue. The Indians then entered their final game of the 1994 season against the Gateway Gators with hopes that if they were going to make the playoffs, some other teams needed to lose. Although the Indians would finish the season 7-3, they would not make the playoffs in 1994. As we said before, the ultimate state champion with the McKeesport Tigers and Woodland Hills was victorious in the playoffs. So the Indians played in one of the toughest conferences in the WPIAL. Let's sit back and watch the conclusion of the 1994 season as our Indians finish up on a 4-game winning streak.
That's a secondary, not only as a leader of the unit, but
the Indians returned home in Week 7 to host the Central Catholic Vikings.
Penn Hills Indians is Dwayne Thompson, number 22. And it's a short kickoff. The ball, Penn Indians.
It would be the Indians' rushing attack dominating early, putting the Indians up by a score of 12-0.
Last week, McKeesport threw the ball only once against Central Catholic. Quick handoff to Derek Johnson. And Johnson gets another Penn Hills Indian first down. In fact, we'll Central Catholic. Lenny Gilmer, the quick handoff again to Mason Murray. Mason Murray gets a Penn Hills Indians first down. And again, it's Mason Murray down close to the goal line. Gibson to the right, Mike White to the left. And Lenny Gilmer will run behind Mike White. And it looks like he's in for a Penn Hills touchdown. And he is.
The distance, 65
Victor
yards.
Strader's hold is down. Brian Fisher's kick is up. And it goes. Mark Bolger is not afraid to. The Penn Hills Indians have the ball near midfield. Lenny Gilmer in a quarterback by quick handoff to Sean Bonner, who picks up 5, maybe 6 yards. Derek Johnson up in front of Mason Murray. And Mason Murray gets the ball looking for some running room off tackle. He gets it a first down. And a lot more. Livingston and Murray. And it's a quick handoff to Sean Bonner, who has some room around the left end. Bonner around the 30. He's down to the 20. Sean Bonner with some running room. He crosses the 10-yard line. Sean Bonner in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Len Gilmer, the quarterback. The quick handoff to Sean Bonner looks for some.
The 2-touchdown lead would be short-lived, however, as the Central Catholic Vikings would strike back on the ensuing kickoff.
Results this time in the inside handoff in the Kiski area to defeat Woodland Hills tonight. That would help the Indians in a big way.
That would help incredibly. Kickoff taken by Bob Powell, who gets a little bit of running room up to center. And Bob Powell is now in a foot race, and it looks like Bob Powell will score for the Central Catholic Vikings. And just like that, it's 12-6. So now Justin Kerpake is trying to point after. And the kick is up and good. We'll give Kerpakis a half yard on that one, but they don't count half yards.
As they had done all season, the Indian defense didn't give much, and the Indians were able to work their way to a 20-6 lead.
Guylan Hood's still looking for a block. Guylan Hood's still on his feet. If Guylan Hood can get around the right side, he might have some running room, and he does. Guylan Hood crosses over the 25. Guylan Hood will be brought down. This time Garrett Livingston with a quick handoff, and Livingston still stays on his feet, gets the first down and a few more yards for the Penn Hills Indians, and Garrett Livingston just refuses to go down. This time it's Dwayne Thompson with some running room into the Central Catholic secondary, and Thompson close to another Penn Hills first down.
Well, even if Hood is in a wide-out position, which he is, he could get being part of a double pass possible here. That's another flea flicker, but no, he goes straight.
So Lenny Gilmer back to pass, and he's looking for Guylan Hood down the sideline. Good Guylan Hood open at the goal line, and there's a flag on the play. If they have a first down, the ball on the 23-yard line. Fake the handoff to Mason Murray, and the ball passed out to Derek Johnson, who gets some running room. Derek Johnson is brought down at the 3-yard line.
Right there on the injury.
And again, it's Mason Murray, and Mason Murray gets in for the Penn Hills touchdown.
He's definitely in.
Fader up, Murray deep. And Gilmer's going to throw. And he has Ronnie Graham. You see the Central Catholic color guard getting ready for the halftime festivities.
The Central Catholic Vikings wouldn't quit, however, and they stayed in the game with a fluky late third-quarter touchdown.
And the ball thrown and cut. In motion is Brian Ray, and there's the quick handoff for a Central Catholic first down. So Kerpakis and Gray, the I formation in the backfield. Play action pass, Bulger standing in his pocket, looking down over the middle of the ball, tipped, and then caught for the Central Catholic touchdown. Kick is put down. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So the I formation, and this time it's Sean Bonner showing a little bit of looking in the backfield. Breaks one tackle, breaks two, breaks three tackles, and Sean Bonner gets out close to midfield for the Penn Hills Indians. I wouldn't be surprised if Zakia just kicks it right into the end zone. Zakia under no pressure, and he puts the ball straight up in the air. The ball goes out of bounds. A wit. So Balger will pass, no surprise there.
The Penn Hills defense would keep Central off the scoreboard the rest of the way, having to bat a pass away in the end zone on the final play of the game, and the Indians held on for a 20-14 win as B.J. DiNatale was named Offensive Player of the Game.
So Balger rolls to his right this time and throws pass complete. Again, wide open is Bob Powell. Brian Ray, and there's a fumbled exchange and open. So 3rd and 10. Balger rolling to his left. And he's sacked when Penn Hills gets the ball back. The Vikings are in an I formation, and they're going to do the reverse. They want to reverse the ball back. There's a flea flicker, and wide open at the goal line. It's a Central Catholic Viking, and the ball is batted away. Wide open was Bob Powell. And pitched the ball back to Balger, who threw the ball and was batted by, looked like Gylan Hood.
And Johnson both, I think.
Bob in the final seconds of play. This time it came out in Penn Hills' favor. The ball batted away at the goal line, away from number 22, Bob Powell.
She's a handsome woman. Bill, what happened to you? You don't want to look at the record and say, oh, well, they're 0-4, 1-6. It's an easy victory.
The Indians crossed the Allegheny River in Week 8 to take on new Quad East rival Fox Chapel.
They'd be in a tie for the playoff spot.
Short kickoff by the Penn Hills Indians, taken at the 17-yard line, faking the reverse to Jason Funky. But with the kickoff is Dan Kabala, who gets some running room, and the Fox Chapel Foxes will keep running with the football. And Jason Funky this time is going to throw the ball. He's under some pressure, and he's almost sacked by Derek Johnson. To pass again with the lone setback being Sean Kochi, and Funky will throw the football this time. He's under some pressure, sets up the screen to Kochi, but bad snap. Jobman does a good job to get the ball up and away, and he kicks a nice ball, and it'll go into the end zone.
We expect nothing less from you.
Thank you. And just like, and the Penn Hills Indians go right to their running game. They're ball in the air. Again, the I formation. And again, it's Dwayne Thompson, and Thompson picks up 4. Lenny Graham wide to the far side of the screen. Lenny Gilmer looks to throw, and Lenny Gilmer is sacked. And there you see, looks like the Foxes might just be rushing this punt, and they are. Zakia does a nice job to get the punt away, but the ball goes almost straight up in the air.
It would be the Penn Hills defense getting the Indians on the board for what proved to be the winning points early in the first quarter.
My guess would be a quarterback draw. But Funky is hit just as he throws the ball. The ball is picked off by Derek Johnson, who will run in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Dave Zakia will come in and kick the extra point for the Penn Hills Indians.
Fake.
I think fake, they kick it. There's Victor Strader running around the right side, and he gets in for 2 points.
Turned into the Penn Hills touchdown.
So again, the punt by the Fox Chapel Foxes, and Sean Bonner will take it his own 28. Fakes the reverse to Dwayne Thompson, and he bootlegs around the right side to Sean Bonner, and he'll get the football out over midfield for the Penn Hills Indians.
Excellent job of trickery on that play.
So again, the power I formation, and again, it's Dwayne Thompson who will have a Penn Hills Indian first down and a lot more.
Not at all.
Dwayne Thompson in motion. Lenny Gilmer will roll to his right. Looking downfield, he has Dwayne Thompson. Thompson crosses over the 20-yard line. A formation with Livingston and Johnson in front of Dwayne Thompson. Looks like Livingston might have moved early, but no call on the play. But Lenny Gilmer will keep the football. He has a Penn Hills Indian first down. And again, it's Dwayne Thompson, and he's tackled in the backfield. The ball fumbled and caught in the air.
The teams would trade fumbles, and the Indians would get on the board again late in the first half and lead 15-0 at the break.
Quick handoff up the middle goes to number 33, Ivar Johnson. Who fumbles the football. Sean Bonner wide. Maybe Sean Bonner on a reverse, and we will see the reverse. There goes Sean Bonner with some running room around the left side. One man to beat, and he does. Sean Bonner with some running room down the left sideline. He's forced out of bounds and way to the right. And Lenny Gilmer's rolling. The ball is thrown, caught, and completed, and looks like it might have been fumbled, and it is. Snap, they will kick the ball away. Troutman's kick goes out of bounds in a hurry. Wide left, I formation. The handoff goes to Dwayne Thompson with some running room right up the middle. He has a Penn Hills Indian first down, and a whole lot more. It was near 1:20 to go here in the first half. And again, it's Dwayne Thompson. short. Thompson is stopped just short. Just keep it behind Gibson, and that's what he does. And Gilmer looks like he might not be in. He's not. Up the middle. Dwayne Thompson perhaps is going to jump over, but jumping over. Victor Strader this time puts the ball down, and Brian Fisher gets the ball up and through the uprights. Put back formation.
The Indians' defense would again put the offense in position for another score, and the Indians would lead 22-0.
He's going to throw the ball, and he's under pressure, and he overthrows Dan Cavallo. Indians set up the return. Looks like they're going to go to their walls. And the wall will be on the near side, but they're going to hand off to Guyland Hood, who's going to fake the reverse, or will get the reverse around the left side. Guyland Hood with some running room down to the far sideline. One man to beat, and they're going to roll him out of bounds, or else Scott is down. He was sacked.
Oh, he was sacked. Okay.
He was sacked. Lenny Gilmore with a deep drop. Looking for Sean Bonner, and Sean. The Indians now with 4 plays to knock it into the end zone, and here's Mason Murray up the middle. And Mason Murray gets inside the 5. This time it's the pitch to Derek Johnson. Johnson with some running room around the right side, and he gets in for the Penn Hills touchdown. The 3rd touchdown of the game for Derek Johnson, and the Indians go up by a score of 21-0 with their Strader on the hold. Strader able to get the snap down, and Brian Fisher puts the ball that's up and through. That ball would have been good for, I think, 30 yards.
Get their second drive. They got good field position. They run it into the end zone.
As the Indians coaches watched, Rashawn Flewellen and Victor Strader would each pick off Fox Chapel passes as the defense would hold on for the shutout and the 22-0 win.
Because most everybody, I say, is much taller. Puchka with the pitch, but Puchka fumbles the football. And the Fox Chapel Foxes pick it up. That's number 75, Mike Sasson. We've heard his name all game. He runs with the ball, and he fumbles the ball back, and it looks like Fox Chapel will get the ball again. 17-yard line. And again, Funky's going to throw the football. He's looking into the end zone, and the ball is picked off near the goal line. Victor Strader will pick the ball off at the 1-yard line. And the Penn Hills Indian defense able to keep the goose egg. As week 9.
Senior night would see the Indians hosting the Kiski Cavaliers and would turn out to be a spotlight on Mason Murray.
And this time, it's Mason Murray with some running room, and he gets into Kiski wide on the near side. And this time, it's Garrett Livingston with some running room. Garrett Livingston gets deep in Kiski.
The Indian rushing attack opens the scoring, and the defense would get the ball back and set up Mason Murray's 2nd touchdown of the game.
Murray deep in the power I formation. And it is going to be Mason Murray who jumps in for the Penn Hills touchdown, and just like he's done well all season, gets the snap down, the kick is up, and the kick is blocked. I formation, Perfetta and Adam Beck deep. And Perfetta gets introduced to the Penn Hills line, defensive line, who say there's a loose ball. And the officials say it's a loose ball. Navari along with Bob Orquist. Great to have you along on a Friday evening. Quick handoff. It looks like the Indians might just hand that ball right back to Kiski. But to Murray deep. And again, it's Mason Murray over their left side. Mason Murray down near the goal line. They're at 140. And there's Mason Murray diving in again for another Penn Hills Indian touchdown. Instant in front of Mason Murray. And Sean Bonner gets the inside handoff and 2 points. They kick off, good field position. Andy Moore down deep. And Hagowski will take it at the 11.
As it had done all season, the defense would once again shine this Friday night, shutting down Kiski's offensive attack.
There's a quick pass out to the near side. Miller and Adam Beck. Klauser's been coming out throwing. And Klauser again will throw the football, and he looks to the left side on a little out pass. That's Siege territory near midfield. There's a fumble on the snap. It looks like the Penn Hills Indians might just get the football back, and they do. Coming up with the football, Thompson in deep. And again, Gilmer throws, and this time he hits Guyland Hood, who will pick up a Penn Hills Indian first down.
Especially as he's on.
The Indians' offense continued to rack up yards and points, slowly putting this game out of reach.
Gilmer's going to throw the football, and he has Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson has a Penn Hills Indian first down. Gilmer with the pitch to Dwayne Thompson. Thompson looking for some running room, and he gets in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Tough job in practice this week. Strader gets the hold down. The kick is up, and it just gets over the goalpost.
Very, very ugly, but it's the end.
Kicking off now, Brian Fisher. The ball will go deep because Fisher kicks it down to the 10-yard line. That's number 24, Justin Hagowski. Hagowski changes field, has some running room on the near side. Brian Fisher tries to tackle him, but he gets blocked out of the way, but he will learn to jump over those yard lines. Fouls are rolling out to his right. He's pursued by Damon Gibson. With the men on the line this time for the
spot 12
Cavaliers.
Bad snap.
And Derek Johnson almost blocked. And again, Klauser's going to throw, this time throwing deep, looking for Chin. And Chin with the over-the-shoulder grab.
The Cavaliers would score late in a try to rally, but Mason Murray would slam the door on Kiski.
So Gibson was in waiting for Feta to hand off the football. And again, another flag will be dropped inside the 5-yard line. Right. Klauser's looking, he's looking for Chin on the near side into the end zone. There's Victor Strader.
They try to make it 7.
The kick is up, and the kick is good. Mason Murray up the middle with some running room, close to another Penn Hills Indian first down. And again, Mason Murray with some running room over the left side, and Mason Murray is off to the races. Mason Murray crosses over the 20-yard line. Hagowski, the only man to beat.
Season so far.
There's Mason Murray crossing over the 5, crossing over the goal line, in for another Penn Hills Indian touchdown. And Fisher looking for the point after. Victor Strader on the hold again. And Brian Fisher's kick went straight into the line of scrimmage. The Indians were up by 6-0. Pitch back to Murray around the right side. Murray looking for some running room. Gets it. He's inside the 10-yard line. 5. Mason Murray gets down to the 3.
There goes some red and gold balloons.
Mason Murray gets inside the 5. Down close to the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. And Dwayne Tomlinson. And it is Dwayne with some running room. Dwayne crosses over the 20-yard line. There's Mason Murray with some running room up the middle. Mason Murray is off to the races. Mason Murray crosses over midfield. Mason Murray 40 to 30. Mason Murray, one man to beat. Mason Murray. Lenny Gilmer with a quick look in. Touchdown, Penn Hills.
Mason Murray would rush for over 200 yards, and Don Chichilla's catch in the end zone would seal the 41-13 victory as Kiski put on some points late in the game just to make the score kind of close.
You should go next season to see this field. Klauser looking deep for Chin, who's behind the defense at the 20-yard line. Chin catches the football, and he's brought down at the 10.
At least the clock would keep running to keep him out of the end zone.
Quick inside handoff and a touchdown to Joey Perfetta. I'm sorry, that's final score, Penn Hills 41, Kiski 13. It's quickly. About the 30-yard line, perhaps a squib kick, and there it goes. Kickoff taken at the 30-yard line. That's Sean Bonner. Again, Thompson in motion. And this time it's Victor Strader running up the gut. Victor Strader has himself a right. Usually we see him get the ball, but it's not Obian blocking. In the slot. Fake the handoff to Sean Bonner, but that looks like it's Mason scored the
final conference game of the season found the Indians in Gator country.
Mason Murray has himself a Penn Hills first down. In fact, he has himself a Penn Hills touchdown. 21. Fisher comes in for the point after.
Penn Hills would get on the board quickly, then the defense would make handbags out of the Gators.
Zakia with a high, short kickoff, and the ball. And Gateway comes out throwing the football wide open at midfield. Motion is Connors, and this time it's Pittman. Nugs. So now Gateway to punt. It's a high kick. Sean Bonner. Sean Bonner fakes the handoff to Guyland Hooder on the right side. Sean Bonner with some running room. Sean Bonner with a couple of men to beat Sean Bonner. Running down the near sideline. Gateway trying to stuff the Penn Hills run. Fakes the handoff to Mason Murray. Does Lenny Gilmer throwing the ball out to the right side is Ronnie Graham. Ronnie Graham with some running room. Ronnie Graham has some running room down the right side. 2 men to beat Ronnie Graham. Out of the field, power I formation. There it is, fake the handoff to Victor Strader. Lenny Gilmer takes the ball himself, and Lenny Gilmer gets in for the Penn Hills touchdown. It was just a matter of getting some blocks. Pittman, the ball carrier for the Gateway Gators. He won't go down, and he's been the lone setback. Fumble, looks like a fumble on the play. And there goes Ronnie Graham. Ronnie Graham will score for the Penn Hills Indians.
As the offense continued to rack up points, Ronnie Graham made sure the defense got into the act too.
Short kick by Gateway gets a...
They need a Gateway upset tonight at Penn Hills to qualify for the playoffs. They have to beat Woodland Hills.
Second place teams do play the conference winners. Nice catch by Guyland Hood over the midfield, over.
Lenny Gilmer would then lead the Indians on to a 35-0 halftime lead.
Up the middle, he has a Penn Hills Indian first down. Of course, he could have had one last week if it wasn't for that darn 32-yard line. I expect a quick handoff to either Bonner. Yeah, it is Bonner. Bonner gets a touchdown. I couldn't even...
Well, it's gotten better as it got healthier. You can definitely see that.
And Brian Fisher puts the exclamation point on the touchdown, and the Indians are up 28-0. Not as far this time. Number 83, Mike Bowl with the return. It looks like another football loose, and does Penn Hills come up with it? They do. Holy cow. Mason Murray on the pitch right, reverses it to Sean Bonner looking for a block. He has it by Kevin McCoy. No. A flag goes down on a very poor call. Totally clean block. Lenny Gilmer is going to throw the football looking downfield. The ball almost picked off. Lenny Gilmer on the option play. Lenny Gilmer slips. Hunt. Second man through is Mason Murray, and Mason Murray is short of the first down. Fumbled kickoffs. They recovered 2 fumbled Gateway kickoffs deep in Gateway territory, and neither of them they've put any points on the board. And again, Gateway is looking to throw the football. I-79 to go. Setting up the screen is Manichia.
Ooh, reorganize a lot. Penn Hills, they're going to go in and just say, hey, we're going to do the same things. It's working, and it's working beautifully. 28 zip.
Oh, certainly. First man through is Victor Strader. Strader close to another Penn Hill Indian first down. Dwayne Thompson deep. Slot back is Rashawn Flewellen, and Flewellen with his first carry of the season around left end. One man to beat. He gets inside the 5. Gilmore pitches the ball to Dwayne Thompson on the right side, and Dwayne Thompson dives into the end zone for the Penn Hills touchdown.
The script was much of the same in the second half, but soon the names were different.
Domination at its finest, both offensively and defensively. Penn Hills played about as perfect a half of football as you possibly could, and it shows in the score. An easy 35-0 for the Indians.
Certainly. Conley, the man in motion. Conley gets the football, trying to look for some running room around the left side, and he gets nowhere. Again, Conley in motion. This time, Pittman with the ball. For Gateway. You'd think it was 4-down territory, but a quick pass. Reddington didn't turn around. And Gateway does pull the fake. And Penn Hills was waiting for it.
Here tonight.
Oh, certainly. Mason Murray with some running around the left side, and Mason Murray gets some running room. Mason Murray has a Penn Hills Indian first down. He gets inside. I'd like to see the game end as soon as possible. Dwayne Thompson with some nifty running over the right side. Certainly love to see that one. This time Victor Strader with some running room up the middle. Victor Strader has 6 points. Say good night, Irene. Garrett Livingston, Mason Murray. Mason Murray does a nice job to stay on his feet. Mason Murray is off to the races. 15, 10, 5. Mason Murray goes down inside the 5-yard line. And Bonner up front. Mason Murray, touchdown, Penn Hills.
Mason Murray had put the Indians up by 7 touchdowns, and soon a host of underclassmen got into the game as fans got to see the future stars of next season. And the final score, Penn Hills 48, Gateway 0.
Although the 1994 season did not meet the expectations and dreams as hoped back in August, Coach Gordon and his team should be proud of their accomplishments. The Indians have continued the winning tradition that has been expected in Penn Hills. On behalf of my staff at Southeastern Teleproductions, we want to give a special thanks to the Penn Hills football boosters for their assistance and cooperation in bringing you the games week by week and also this highlight tape. Without their efforts and cooperation, these programs would not be available. So to them, we give our thanks. On behalf of Dave Anderson, Bill Navari, Bob Orkowitz, this is Frank Rico, again thanking you for the opportunity to show some of the best football in the WPIAL and wishing you a happy new year.
One of the most exciting weapons on the Indians in 1994 was Sean Bonner. The 5'11", 170-pound Bonner returned one punt for a touchdown and was dangerous in both the offensive and defensive backfields. Sean intercepted 3 passes this season. He also scored touchdowns rushing, receiving, and returning.
Short punt. Bonner takes it at his own 36-yard line. He cuts to the right, gets around the first wave of containment. He has a wall. Sean Bonner. What a return by the young senior. Vandersee now in the backfield for Butler. Vandersee gets the ball. He's going to throw a halfback pass. The ball's going to be picked off by Penn Hills. That's Sean Bonner. Sean Bonner brings the ball back to the 35.
He makes the Indians work for their score.
And they do kick it away. Smart play. The ball bounces short. Bonner picks it up, and he's brought down immediately. Nice kick by Lee.
Ball's going to be to the near side.
Bonner chases it down at the 15-yard line. He's going to pick it up there with a host of Butler Golden Tornadoes. If he can get by this group, he can go.
There it is.
Bonner. Bonner at the midfield. He's at the 40. He's got a block to go. And he goes hunt. Let's see if Penn Hills can get another return, but this is a short kick. Sean Bonner at the 14-yard line. He needs a block. He gets it. Sean Bonner with the wedge up the near side. Sean Bonner may go. Sean Bonner at the 50. Sean Bonner into Seneca territory. He needs a couple of blocks. He got 1. He got 2. Sean Bonner with the Penn Hills touchdown. Oh, my.
Although he was hurt most of the season, Rashawn Flewellen made the most of his playing time. Flew intercepted 1 pass and had a 15 yards per carry rushing average and made 3 tackles on defense.
And the ball is picked off by Rashawn Flewellen. Victor Strader, the up back. Dwayne Thompson deep. Slot back is Rashawn Flewellen, and Flewellen with his first carry of the season around left end. 1 man to beat. He gets inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for the Indians on a running clock. We'll stop shortly while they reset. I think that's Rashawn. That is Rashawn Flewellen. So Ooh and Flew, the dynamic duo. Ball kicks, and Flew takes it on the first top. Rashawn Flewellen with some running room. He gets over midfield. And the Indians once again will begin their position on the first initial rush, but Franklin able to stick with them and get up for the sack. And Derek, I mentioned earlier to Bob after you went down and they brought in the subs that you talked about Brian Franklin.
Yeah, last night. I mean, Brian Franklin's he's only a freshman. I think it's him, Craig Gilbert.
Bob Orquist. Benicia's going to throw. Here comes Robo around the right side. Doesn't catch up to him, and Conley gets a nice pass. Gets some running room around the right side, and he's brought down out of bounds.
One of the fastest of the Indians, Derek Johnson was the 4th leading rusher on the squad, averaging 7 yards per carry. Derek also returned 1 interception for a touchdown. Derek played hurt most of the season, but 2 separated shoulders kept him out of the lineup in Week 10. Defensively, Derek had 17 solo tackles, assisted on 17 others, and was tied for the team lead in sacks with 4.
Pass completed for a first down. Was that B.J. Dinatale?
I think it was Mason Murray.
It was. As the quarterback. Again, Badali and Shelley. Umberger's going to throw. Read nicely by Penn Hills, and he's brought down for a loss. Derek Johnson read the play nicely, fought up for WPIAL playoff possibilities. It's Derek Johnson on the short return for the Penn Hills Indians.
Call him Umar.
Again, Dixon under pressure. It's Derek Johnson, and Derek Johnson took a nice shot, but again, Derek Johnson stays in, and he brings down Dixon for the sack.
That is the second. Indeed, just was a cramp on this hot day.
Again, it's Derek Johnson who gets up over midfield for the Penn Hills Indians, and he's brought down at the Woodland Hills. This could be 4-down territory for them. First man through is Derek Johnson. Johnson with the running room. Johnson still going. Johnson to score for the Penn Hills touchdown. Derek Johnson broke 3 tackles and rumbles 29 yards for the Penn Hills touchdown. What a run by Derek Johnson. And talk about someone coming off the bench.
After nursing an early season knee injury, Mike Johnson was solid as the Indian center. At 5'11", 240 pounds, Mike was instrumental in opening holes for the Indian rushing attack, often leading the way upfield.
And again, here's Dwayne Thompson, who gets Garrett Livingston. Lenny Gilmer this time. Again, it's Dwayne Thompson, a la Mason Murray. High formation now for the Indians. And again, it's Dwayne Thompson. Whenever the ball's running well, Mason Murray, he's deep. And the ball goes to Mason Murray, who picks up some nifty yardage. Again, Thompson in motion. And this time it's Victor Strader running up the gut. Victor Strader has himself a Penn Hills Indian first down as he gets out near the 45-yard line. And Lenny Gilmer with the quick look. And there's the interference call against him. That was a different look for Penn Hills. First time they ran to the left. All their other plays have been either up the middle or to the right side of the line. This time they hand off to Murray going to the left, and it loses a yard. So now the Indians have the wide right side of the field. Clock continues to roll, nearing 7.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Penn Hills Indians are a very ball control, time-using oriented type football team. Saw them a couple of weeks ago use almost the entire first period to score the opening touchdown. And there's Mason Murray with line around, pulling some stunts, especially with their middle linebackers. And the linebackers are the key. Primarily, they play a 5-2 type defense. But Gateway trying to stuff the Penn Hills run. Fakes the handoff to Mason Murray.
One of the top linemen in the WPIAL, Bill Craver played both sides of the football, opening holes for his running backs and making bone-crushing hits on defense. The 6'3", 305-pound Craver was second on the Indians with 57 tackles and was tied for the team lead in sacks with 4.
Kick back, and there's a handoff in the back.
Defense, he's had no time at all to throw.
There's Funky, who will roll to his right. Umar still seeing some playing time, especially on a third down situation. And Funky's going to throw the ball, and here comes Damon Gibson with some pressure, and it's a middle screen. Gary Livingston, but it's a quick look-in pass, and Ronnie Graham loses the football.
Very many ball games.
So Jimmy Roble comes in for the injured Ronnie Graham, and Funky with the long counts. Again, Isber with the handoff again to Patterson. Patterson picks up another first down. He's out to midfield.
As we start the fourth.
I think the key has been playing out of the power I formation. And there's Mason Murray. Mason Murray, touchdown Penn Hills. Big series now for the Penn Hills Indians. Don't expect McKeesport really to do anything different. It's a handoff to the first man through. That's Casey Holtzman. There's a backup quarterback. So don't be surprised if they pitch to him and watch him throw the football.
With 889 yards, Mason Murray was far and away the Indians' leading rusher this season. Mason also led the team in scoring with 14 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Mason was also fourth on the team with 50 tackles, and he also had 1 sack.
Scored the opening touchdown. And there's Mason Murray with some running room. Mason Murray has himself a Penn Hills first down. In fact, he has himself a Penn Hills touchdown. Garrett Livingston does. Mason Murray does a nice job to stay on his feet. Mason Murray is off to the races. 15, 10, 5. Mason Murray goes down inside the 5-yard line. Mason Murray deep in the power I formation. And it is going to be Mason Murray who jumps in for the Penn Hills touchdown, and just in turn it costs them 7 points. Mason Murray up the middle with some running room, close to another Penn Hills Indian first down. Again, Mason Murray with some running room over the left side, and Mason Murray is off to the races. Mason Murray crosses over the 20-yard line. Hagoski the only man to beat, and Hagoski brings... Pitch back to Murray around the right side. Murray looking for some running room. Gets it, he's inside the 10-yard line, 5. Mason Murray gets down to the 3, first and goal, Penn Hills Indians from the 5. Again, Mason Murray up the middle. He's a scores the touchdown for the Shawnee Red Bands. Again, Mason Murray up over the 10-5. He's in for the Penn Hills touchdown. Mason Murray picks up all 25 yards on 4 carries. Penn Hills up 6.
When Umar Rollins made a play, it was always the big play. Umar snagged 2 interceptions and made 15 tackles as a defensive back. Umar also made a number of great plays, batting down a number of opponent passes.
Very much so. Very much so. There's Isber on the pitch back, and it looks like Glenn Allen's going to throw. Glenn Allen's looking deep. And the ball's almost picked off by Umar Rollins.
I don't think Rollins wanted to intercept that ball. He made the safe play. Rutherford was behind him, and he just came over right away, 2 hands on the ball, knocked it away, taking no chances.
Expect Isber to throw the ball, and Isber does. Isber throws the ball, and it's picked off by the Penn Hills Indians.
Umar Rollins.
Umar. Along with broadcast partner Bob Orquist, I'm Bill Navarre. Great to have you along. And again, Isber on the option play, and there's Glenn Allen. Glenn Allen now with some running room around the outside. Glenn Allen still on his feet, and he's brought down near midfield at the McKeesport Plum Mustangs, and Umberger will throw. Umberger looking on the near side. Number 21, Craig James, and the ball almost picked off by Umar Rollins. We said it last week, second quarter. Umberger's going to throw. Umberger looking for Dunsworth. The ball off the hands of Dunsworth. Dunsworth almost picked off by, yes, number 2, Umar Rollins.
And I tell you what, Dunsworth, we've seen he's a good receiver.
A star on the soccer field, Brian Fisher used his leg for the Indians on kickoffs and extra points. Brian kicked 15 extra points this season and averaged 43 yards on his 30 kickoffs.
In the middle, flanked by Sean Coleman and Monta Sifford. Brian Fisher to kick off for the Penn Hills Indians, and we're underway at McKeesport Tigers Stadium. Brian Fisher to kick. High snap, kicks down. The kick is up, and it is good.
But he smelt that goal line, got inside the 10, picked up at least 1 block, and then snuck it in, and Penn Hills has the 6-0 lead. And that's going to be a big lift for this team.
Well, do you think there's a possibility that Woodland Hills was throwing it up with the intention of Penn Hills picking it off, but trying to tackle them where they picked it off is to work the third down maybe more as a punt?
I don't know. In a way, that could have been what happened, but I just think it was a poorly thrown pass by Dixon.
So number 1, Brian Fisher, a soccer star for the Penn Hills Indians, as well as kicker on the football team. Will do the kicking. Crafty running back. So Brian Fisher will kick off from his own 40-yard line.
Not only did Jimmy Roble play defensive end, but Jim also shared the Indians' punting duties as well. Roble had 5 tackles on the season and averaged 34 yards per punt.
And Funky will roll to his left, and here comes Jimmy Roble. Roble misses Pitts on the far side. That's your defensive line.
Pretty much has been their problem all year, too. They just averaging, as you said, just a little over 6 points a game. And when you're giving up an average of 24, it's not going to win you very many ball games.
So Jimmy Roble comes in for the injured Ronnie Graham, and Funky goes right to the air. So Funky with the long count. Again, he drops back. So the roll has been his friend tonight. So Funky rolling out. He's going to carry the football this time. Jimmy Roble with some pressure on the left side. 17-yard line. And again, Funky's going to throw the football. He's looking into the end zone, and the ball is picked off. Agofsky wide on the near side. Chin wide to the right with Sean Bonner. Klauser drops to be deep, under some pressure, and he goes under. They can catch him on the sideline later. Klauser's pass intended for. Klauser fakes the handoff, rolls to his left. He's under pressure. Damon Gibson misses the sack, but following up is.
Mr. Opportunity, Mark Pitts often found himself at the bottom of a pile recovering a fumble. The always positive and upbeat Mark had 28 tackles and 3 sacks this year. Pitts blocked a punt and recovered 2 fumbles against Kiski.
Formation, Perfetta and Adam Beck deep. And Perfetta gets introduced to the Penn Hills line defense. There's a quick pass out to the coming out throwing. And Klauser again will throw the football, and he looks to the left side on a little in the Kiski area Cavaliers, 2nd and 10 just inside their own territory near midfield. There's a fumble on the snap, and looks like the Penn Hills Indians might just get the football back, and they do. Coming up with the football is Mark
Pitts again.
Mr. Opportunity.
His second fumble recovery, and I believe he's the man who blocked the punt.
And there's a nice pressure, and the kick is blocked, and it's picked up by Demond Gibson.
Doubly against Kiski area.
In motion is Justin Agofsky. The inside handoff goes to C.J. Miller, McKeesport Tigers. And there goes Isper with the option with a pitch back. And Glenn Allen is stuffed. Picks up maybe a yard.
Mark Pitts did the stuffing on that play.
The receivers and upbacks. There's Fiola in motion. Handoff goes to the lone setback. There's Arrington. Nice pursuit, and he's brought down at the 42-yard line. A flag comes.
Gylan Hood did it all for the Indians this year. Quarterback, receiver, defensive back, punt returner, and team leader. Gylan averaged 12 yards per completion, 17 yards per reception, 7 yards per rush, and 26 yards per punt return. Gylan had 53 tackles and led the Indians with 6 interceptions, including 1 for a touchdown. This season, Hood was named Offensive Player of the Week against North Hills and Defensive Player of the Week against Plum, and was the only Indian to pick up both awards.
Looks like they might be checking an ankle or a knee. Noon's back to pass again. He's looking again. Penn Hills with nice coverage. And the ball is picked off. Garrett Livingston. Gylan Hood with the keeper. Gylan Hood could have a little bit of running room. He goes to the first down and more! Gylan Hood is off to the races. Gylan Hood over the 30. The 20. He's being braced down by Boylan at the 20.
Taking 16 seconds to get the play off.
And the flags go down everywhere, and Gylan Hood decides he's going to run the ball. Gylan Hood still on his feet. Gylan Hood crosses over the 30-yard line. Gylan Hood still on his feet. Count half yards. Bulger's going to throw again. Bulger looking deep down over the middle, and the ball's picked off near the goal line by Gylan Hood. Gylan Hood with some running room at the 10-yard line. Gylan Hood still looking for a block. Gylan Hood still on his feet. If Gylan Hood can get around the right side, he might have some running room, and he does. Gylan Hood crosses over the 25. Gylan Hood. Bowser throwing, again looking for Chin, who's had some open turf, but there's Gylan Hood with his 6th interception of the season. Gylan Hood looking for some running room on the far side of the field, looking for some block. And Gylan Hood gets knocked out of bounds and into the Kiski area Cavalier bench, looks like right at midfield. Indians set up the return. Looks like they're going to go to their walls. And the wall will be on the near side, but they're going to hand off to Gylan Hood, who's going to fake the reverse, or will get the reverse around the left side. Gylan Hood with some running room down the far sideline. One man to beat, and they're going to roll him out of bounds, or else Gylan Hood would have had himself 6 points.
Life, so they say, is but a game and they let it slip away. Love, like the autumn sun, should be dying, but it's only just begun. Like the twilight in the road up ahead, they don't see just where we're going, and all the secrets in the universe whisper in our ears. All the years come and go, take us up, always up. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. We may never pass this way again. Dreams, so they say, are for the fools and they let them drift away. Peace, like the silent dove, should be flying, but it's only just begun. Like Columbus in the olden days, we must gather all our courage, our fears, and all the years will come and go. Take us up, always up.